Did anybody have any requests after what we've done so far? Yeah, nice. Okay, well, we'll get into some pigeon posing.
Pigeon posing.
Anybody else? Hips, legs, heart, the whole thing? We have a shy group tonight. Okay. Sorry, I'll decide.
I'm just along for the ride.
You're like, it's like a buffet. You get a little
pretty much.
taste of everything. And we have all weekend. You guys are both coming the other days, so I'm really excited about, like, you get the full spread then.
Yes.
Right? Let's go ahead and put the swing behind your back. Stand in the center of the mat. Push down with your forearms to get it below the heart, because it'll always ride up. Gravity is doing a very good job being consistent. So we want to get as much space between the swing and the armpits when we come into our seated positions. I like to lean back and hold on. Use my forearm press, so now I'm locking in. This is super important. It's a little bit above the gaze, a little bit higher. So forearm press. So I know this is yeah, there you go. A little bit higher. And then when we walk forward, I always start out in sumo squat. It just feels really good. We can do all of the stretching of the spine from these upright positions. So instead of pushing the hips forward, I want you to come straight up and down. So to keep your head over your body, your hips have to sink back. Everybody push your hips to the back of the room as far as possible. Instead of this, push to the back of the room. Push all the way back. Yes! That's where your pelvis hangs freely. Isn't that different? So most people are tight here, and then their head is back, and then we have neck tension. So we're pushing our hips back so our head can be right over our body. Doesn't that feel different? It's so cool. Yeah, so I tuck the pubic bone back and down, right? So instead of tucking the pubic bone forward, I tuck it back. So just play with the rotation of the pelvis a few times. It's like a Jane Fonda video. All of a sudden, in the 80s. I'm fast. No, I'm pressing. Okay. So a little wiggling from side to side can help loosen up that tension that's in the bowl of the pelvis. And then we're going to hug the swing. We always keep our hook. Let's go for the leg loops. Let's see if they're in the right position. If not, we'll spend some time adjusting them. Let's go for the right one. We're going to pull down strongly with both hands. And what we're going to do is lift and use our core. Let's just do 5 lifts. Hold on, hold on. Lift and use your core. Use your arms, like for reals. Pull down. He gets lazy over there. He's always hanging out with me in the swing. All right, so activate your core. That's how we lift the leg. Now the knee is going to rotate out to the side so the foot can come up. Now try the new way of lifting. Foot out to the side. Oh my God. Let's come into our chillaxing pose. There we go. I know, it's challenging. Just even that, the transitions are poses. All right, she's ready. Keep your hips heavy, heart open, head relaxed. Okay, second side, 5 lifts. Float, pull up, and then lower with control. Straight arms if you can. Good. Float and lift. Now the next time, so the elbow, the knee has to go on the outside, so the foot has to come in, okay? So pull down strongly, get the knee out to the side, and then the foot in there. One way or another. Just get those puppies on. Okay, hips heavy, heart open, head relaxed. Yes, chillaxing. Just like the name, this is why we call it chillaxing arms. And we allow ourselves to sink back into it. Hips heavy. Kirsten, hips heavy. Yes, heart open. Lift with the heart, head relaxed. It's totally different than any position we ever get into. So give yourself a break. Be patient with the retraining. You know, we're rewiring the entire body with this practice. And then we get to move multidimensional space. So let's make sure we're not playing bumper cars with our neighbor. Go ahead and get into some swag. Sway from side to side. Have some fun with it. Maybe this is a nice way to extend the arms and play a little bit in the space. Whee! There you go. Just be aware of each other's limbs. Nice. Beautiful, guys. And then we're going to come back to center. Let's go ahead and reach forward for our knees. I like to slide up as high as possible, so maybe the top, maybe not, but you're going to hold on to the leg loops. And then I like to make a wish. I call it make a wish when we bicep curl, open the hips, pull them apart. Maybe rotate a little from side to side, engage your arms. There you go. Oh la la. No tightness. And then exhale, squeeze the knees together and bow in for a version of child. Inhale, lift. spread the knees. So straight up and down, so lift from the heart. Yes, there you go. You're like, oh. Exhale, squeeze. Very good. Inhale, lift. Open. Lead with the heart. There it is. Pull the bottom tips of the shoulder blades down the back. That's it. That's it, Shanti. Exhale, squeeze and round in. Pause. Take a little sacred pause and then engage, open. Can we spread not only the hips, but extend the legs. And now leading from the heart, not the head, right? So the head dive makes the pelvis roll back. The heart allows us to roll forward. That's it. Good. And then balance. Hands come in front. And then we're just going to play a little bit with the tension in the space. There you go. Just tiny little micro movements is enough. Yeah, lead with the heart. That's it. Yeah. So when the pelvis comes back, what happens to the head? Right? When the pelvis comes forward, what happens? So let's just play with that. How do we lead with our heart? Head back in line with leads. There you go. Doesn't that feel different? Everyone wants to look. Did we find what we're looking for down there? Okay. So now what we're going to do is press our arms forward. See if that feels like a doable position. Yeah, press forward. So instead of the arms coming back, press forward towards me. Yes, there we go. Press forward. What happens with the heart there? What happens? It lifts, right? Press forward and lift. Beautiful. And then let's just take a little break. Let yourself catch and come on back. Chillaxing. Support the head. Sway a little from side to side. We're going to revisit our skydiver in a few different positions. We're just doing our little mix and match right now, but we're going to come into a seated pigeon. Make sure the swing feels in the right position on your back. There is a sweet spot where it feels way better than the others. See if you can find it. Nice. Always keep the elbows on the outside of the swing, right? Awesome. Beautiful, guys. Use your momentum to get the right foot on top of the left for seated pigeon. In this position, I do like to flex that foot back just to kind of hook the outside of the leg a little bit. And that'll change the stretch. It changes the position of the hip. Now why don't we go ahead and undulate the hips a few times so we know if we're pressing them down. So everybody's good. Keep your heart open, but lift a little bit and then press the hips down. Feel the difference. Pressing down and then lift up. Press it down. Good. Inhale, lift, and then press the hips down. Totally different, right? So let's come into a bigger expression. Let's hug. So come into superstar, shake it out, superstar, and then hug the leg loops. So the shaking of the fingers allows the tension and nerve stretch down the arms to release any buildup. And then we're going to hug towards us and then blossom open again. So come into either star or superstar. So stretch your fingers out, stretch it out. You guys fit? And then hug one more time. Now in this pose, we can hang out here and bow. So sometimes I pull with the heart, but this time I'm going to let you ground your back and bow in. Beautiful, guys. A couple of deep cleansing breaths to reset. And then what we're going to do is come back into our chillaxing arms. Make sure this, yeah, perfect adjustment, Kelly, good job. And then we're going to extend that right leg up. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to undulate the spine. So keep the hook, straighten the leg, that's it. And we're going to press the hips up, and then we're going to press the hips down. Press the hips down. That's how we know, like that's the stretch is down, right? Sometimes our hips get locked in that upwards position, so when we press down, oh, it's like, oh, there it is. I feel it now. Yeah. So sometimes we try to escape that tension, but then we wind up stressing another part of the body. So let's just take some time to visit and then neutralize the spine. And then once we come back into the intensity, we just feel the outer IT band. So Kelly, lift here. Only press down with your hips. Head is always, there you go. Heart is back. Just press down just with the hips. So maybe the shoulder and the hips are connected, right? Those two major hubs of the body are communicating. So we want to start to isolate. Yeah, same thing. You came down a little too much. See, the swing should be behind the heart. Keep it locked in. There you go. And then just the hips. Even more. Bring it all the way down behind the heart lift. Pierce that all the way down. I know.
I think you're right. It's because it's too low.
Well, even if it's low, you can
Okay.
keep it nice and
Okay.
tight by either leaning back
Yeah.
or using the forearm press. That's it. There you go. So we're going to switch second side. So you lift that leg up. Use your momentum. Hook the left toes around the outer leg loop. I like a lot of swagger in the swing. You probably noticed I wiggle. So this gentle rocking from side to side, I call it wagging the tail. That bottom foot can explore the space, but sometimes releases the tension. That's better. Okay, then we'll do the same exercise. We're going to inhale and lift the hips. Just micro movements make all the difference. And then exhale, press down, flex the foot back, and notice the engagement is different. Right, the little details here make all the difference in the alignment principles. Okay, lift and then press. Nice. Really good. Can you find the flex in the toes? Get your foot connected to your leg. A few more breaths like that at your own pace and your own time. Can you feel your heart opening and your head relaxing as your hips press down? Find that. And then when you're ready, straighten that leg, let it ride up the side, and then flex the toes back if that's comfortable. You can hook the leg loop, just make sure that your ankle is happy. And then let's go ahead and undulate the spine a few times, pulsing with the breath. Inhaling lift. Exhaling back down. Upper body is not involved at all. Your upper body stays exactly where it is, and the lower body is the one moving. And they have the dynamic relationship. That tension of pulling a guitar string in two different directions is what's tuning it, right? Tuning the body. Beautiful, guys. Really nice. Even these small movements can be pretty profound. Beautiful. And then the way I like to come out of this one is you just lift the leg up. Come back into swagger. Good. Nice, guys. And sway from side to side. We're going to go into our skydiver one more time, but we're going to give our arms and knees a break. So, reach towards your knees, come to center when you're ready, take your time, slide up your leg loops as high as you can. Here we go. Leg loops, reach towards your knees, slide up your leg loops as high as you can. There you go. Okay, everyone bicep curl up and then squeeze your legs together to come to stand. Ooh la la. You might have to negotiate with the position, work out a good deal, but then get them into the hip creases. There is a good spot. You just have to find it. Okay, so now we're going to walk our feet to the front of the mat so we can stay right underneath our pivot point. Is that okay? Yes. You find it? Okay. Usually just takes a second. Okay, so let's do a little neck stretch here. I let the swing ride up high. So I let it ride up high so I can put my hands interlaced behind the back of the head, and then I just lean back gently. So I'm just going to pull my neck up and out to the back corner, right? So no U, make it a V, right? Up and out. Just take a moment here to get a nice, gentle neck stretch. The legs supported. And then I'm going to grab from my swing, and then I'm going to come to prayer. So come to prayer position. And then press forward. Everybody good? Yeah, you got it now. Press forward and open up. Hey, skydiver. So notice if my wings are all the way back, my head will dive. So press your wings forward towards me. Yeah. Right in line with the shoulder. Yeah. Thumbs up. Cool. And now let's try banking a little from side to side. Nice. Let's take a moment to flap our wings. You're just going to come forward and back. Let it feel good to stretch all the way down into the arms. Notice the relationship to the arm position and the head position, the heart. Nice. It's a really amazing stretch for the arm nerves. And then what we're going to do is keep everything as is, right in alignment with the shoulders, right? TV arms, and then sometimes I have to get the leg loops on the outside of the hip flexor, so I just shift from side to side to get them into position. So wide, and then closer to the back of the mat. Yes, that's it. You got it. So you can touch down or you can float, whichever one you like for your skydiver. So what happened to your wings? Bring them forward. Bring the wings forward. Straight legs if you can.
Well, then I have to touch.
Yeah, we want straight limbs, straight lines in our limbs until we bend the elbows. Okay, now we bend the elbows and slide into. So remember when we did the elbow crease, the hands can be by the shoulders or they can be by the waist. Now if you do the waist, your head dives. If you just stay up and drop in with the hands close to the shoulders, then you lift your heart more. Beautiful. Now we're all going to float. Bend the knees, bring the bottoms of the feet together. 4, 5. Oh, yeah. That's the one. That ripping, burning, tearing sensation is normal, right? That's the right spot. So let's bank a little from side to side. Let's play a little bit in the space. All right, we're going to do our skydiver and flying butterfly one more time. This is the easy one. Yay, flying. Bring your legs wide and down and find the center, wide center. There you go, perfect. Okay, pull with your arms to the left. You might be a little bit dizzy, lightheadedness from all the flying. So what we're going to do is massage the legs with our leg loops all the way down. Just lift your knees nice and slow. Start to get into any sort of stagnation or stickiness that happens, maybe one at a time. But eventually you will wind up with the leg loops behind the knees again. So yeah, some people like this, some people don't. I particularly like the intensity of it, but that's not a big surprise. Once we're here, let's make sure we hop and get the swing nice and low on our back. Nice, yeah. Always give it an adjustment if you need. You doing okay, Kelly?
Yeah.
So your swing is brand new, so it'll keep...
Well, and it's sticking to my shirt. This one is
always...
Yeah.
It eats the clothes a little bit. It likes to eat the fabric. But yeah, it'll get softer and like a little bit more stretched out with time. So get down to the knees for me with the leg loops. There you go. Perfect. Now this is going to be the more advanced position. So if you enjoyed the leg loops high, then go ahead and do that variation if you want. Let's go ahead and just try one more time. Skydiver into butterfly, and then we will pause for a nice, luxurious relaxation. So reach up as high as you can towards the knees. Yeah, thank you. Knees, leg loops. Thank you. Okay. Bicep curl, come on up. See if you can extend one more time. Balance, right? Straight up and down. Hands come in front. Yep, got to trust a little bit and keep pressing your hips forward, pressing your hips forward, pressing your hips forward. Ooh la la. I know there's that little spot you have to get over. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Yes. Drop it. Butterfly. Good. Nice. That's it, Kirsten. It's okay to have the leg loops right up. If you can keep them towards the knees, that's a little bit more of an intense stretch. Hands by the shoulders. Drop your heart and head now. Right? Let the weight of your upper body stretch open your shoulders. This stretch is everything. All the poses are working up to this one experience of flying. Gentle, gentle strength and openness. So if you're wondering how to come out, we're going to pull our feet down towards the ground, sink your hips back, engage your arms, catch yourself in your chillaxing pose. Really good. Voila. Okay. One more round of swagger before we drop in. How's everybody feeling? Is there anything we missed? Any body parts? Everybody doing good? Why don't we get into our lounging, and then we will end in our cocoon. Okay? So, we're going to do just one side. So, let's all pick the right side. Let's all pick the same side. What we're going to do is extend the right leg loop from the back of the knee all the way to cover the heel. Just the one leg loop. Okay, so we get into some floating Buddha positions with the leg loop stretched out, but we're just going to do one. And then we have an extra leg loop, right? So keep your arms wrapped around the head, right? Keep your arms wrapped around. Get the left leg loop off and then cross your ankles. So both legs are going to thread into that right side. Perfect, okay. So now we have this extra leg loop that I'm going to put behind my back, underneath my head, underneath my neck, and then underneath both arms. Yeah. Get that puppy on. There you go. Now you have extra support. It's doubled up under the armpits. Nice. And then from this position, I'm going to use my chillaxing arms, and I'm just going to let my neck And my heart open one more time and stretch back. If the elbows wide bothers your shoulders, you can always just let your arms dangle. So it's straight and open. So whatever position feels just right for you, take some deep breaths here. Enjoy the body relaxing into a back bend. Only go as far as it feels good for today. Beautiful. So we're going to all come back to our chillaxing arms, play a little bit in the space. Let's bend the knees forward towards me. There you go. Cool. And let's do come into a twist. Oh, wow. And then we're going to straighten the legs out and the knees towards the back of the room. Oh, twist. Just play a few times like that in the space. Twisting forward and back with that knees. Get your heels hooked. So that's why we put the heels. It's always going to be like, oh yeah, man, I see. That's what happens. So yeah, doing a little twist and spin in the space. Beautiful, guys. Okay, keep the right leg, but keep both legs where they are for a moment. Take the leg loop off. See if you can find the space behind your neck. So one last neck stretch. Let it be really yummy. Spread the leg loop out to cover the full length of the ears so there's plenty of support. And tuck the chin gently towards the chest. So we're not going to kink the cervical spine, we're going to lengthen the cervical spine. So how can you create more length and space through the neck? You can hold on to the leg loop if it's uncomfortable to support some of the weight, or just let your arms hang down for more of a deeper stretch. Maybe a gentle swagger or fishtail from side to side feels good here, or just stay nice and cozy and centered. Lifting your hips slightly makes it more intense. Dropping your hips changes the pose. So there's lots of variations here. Lots of dynamic movement. Everybody good? Nice. Beautiful, guys. We're going to reach up and grab for that leg loop. And get it off the back of the head, and then put it on like a little stirrup. Beautiful. Almost.
I'm bringing my swing tomorrow.
Yeah, we can definitely switch the swing out for you, no problem. And then what we're going to do is bring the bottoms of the feet together. Okay. We're coming into cocoon, so you might okay. So reach up as high as you can. Grab for the leg loops. So towards me, yeah. Push the feet together strongly. Lift the hips and lean back. Oh, so good. Stretch the front of the chest. Squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together and roll your shoulders around a couple times. Open the heart. And then come to sit. Beautiful. Anybody want to come into one last strengthener? Hold on to your leg loops. Don't let go yet. Bicep curl, come up into splits. And then go ahead and sit back down. Bicep curl up. And sit back down. One more time. Up and open. If we want to come into wow, we're going to keep our legs straight and lean back from there. Wow. There's a big wow. It is possible to get into your cocoon from here. It's a little tricky because the swing does like to kind of get all tangled up, but if you can manage to stretch it out, you can actually just come right into your cocoon. For anybody where that is too fancy, we're going to get the leg loops off and you're going to come to stand and try it from there, but just see if you can get there. If it is entangled, it's no problem. Just start with the leg loops on the ground, but it's always fun to see what happens. Good job. Make sure your head's in there. Yeah. All right, you have a little hat. Are you comfortable? You can get it underneath your bum a little bit more. You want to stretch down. Hats are okay. Really good. So you can do the leg loops on if you like, or just go ahead and kick them off if you want to curl up into a little ball, whichever one you like. We made it. Great job, guys. Really wonderful practice. So we're going to go through just a gentle guided meditation where I dim the lights and talk you through